Welcome back to the Crow's Nest. We're here at Big Condo Studios. I'm Addae G and I'm joined with the cast and director of a new upcoming play in Liverpool, which will be held during Beatles Week. Alright, I'm here with Mike Hall and Michaela, and we're going to talk a little bit about this exciting new play. Mike, I'd like you to introduce the play. What's the name of this play we're going to see?
The play is called This Girl, the Cynthia Lennon story. And it covers the life of the girl who was married to John Lennon, Cynthia Powell, who met John Lennon at Art College in 1957, when she was, in 1958 actually, when she was 18 years old and he was 17 years old. And the first half of the play is essentially a love story.
Yeah.
They fell in love with each other, and eventually Cynthia married John, became his wife, and became the mother of his child, Julian Lennon.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful idea of a show. And I'm also sat here with Michaela. Tell us your role in this show.
I'm playing Cynthia Lennon in the second half of the play. So from changeover is from really when it started going wrong in terms of the relationship with John Lennon, and then the rest of her life really and what she did.
Okay, alright. That's very interesting. So, okay. I'd like to get to Mike firstly. Tell me, what made you come up with Cynthia Lennon as a topic for a play? Or what led you to this play?
Well, over the years, as we all know, there's been countless books, films and plays written about the Beatles, and in particular about John Lennon.
Yeah.
But no one's ever really bothered about poor Cynthia. She's always been a kind of an also-ran in the whole story. Being of a certain age, shall we say, I was in the cavern in 1962 and 1963 when Cynthia Lennon was there herself.
Yeah.
And as a great fan of the Mersey sound and Mersey beat, this was of particular interest to me. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to research Cynthia Lennon's life and let people know a bit more about her, because she had a very long and a very interesting life.
Yeah.
So what I set about researching the job and travelling all over the country to interview people who knew Cynthia, to get their stories firsthand. Sadly, there aren't that many of us left.
Okay.
Because Cynthia would have been 80 the week after we finish our play. But I managed to track down as many people as I could who knew her, and they all said the same thing, that she was an absolutely lovely person. She was a wonderful lady. She had a great temperament, and she was a big part of making the Beatles what they were, because particularly in the early years, she was the steadying influence that John needed.
Okay.
She was the woman who he always came back to, who he came home to, and without that, we don't know whether the Beatles would have gone on to become the great band that they were. So it's a great story. It's got moments of great humour, and it's got moments of sadness. But it tells the world a lot about someone that they didn't know anything about before.
Oh, interesting. So what I'd like to find out is what made it take from your research, and how did that end up in a play? How did you go from the step of, oh, this is very interesting about her life, let me put this in a play? Or did you start off with the intention of, I want to write a play on Cynthia Lennon, let's interview these people, let's read these books?
Yeah, the motivation was to write a play about Cynthia Lennon. I was convinced there's got to be something interesting and exciting about this woman. Yeah. There's got to be something that's going to make a good piece of theatre out of it, which is what we tried to do. So I gathered together as much information, as many facts, and as many little stories and anecdotes and humorous little things that people remember about her. Yeah. You can't get that from reading books and going on the internet. You can only get that from talking to people. Yeah. And so I took my little tape recorder with me everywhere, from London to the Lake District, to the North East, to the Midlands, to everywhere. It's taken me 8 months of my life to bring this play to this point. I must say it's been a very enjoyable experience. I've met some really lovely people, some really nice people, who are all, how can I put it, wrinkly rockers like myself. It's been a great experience, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right, well, let me change gears a bit. Let me go a bit to Michaela. You are playing Cynthia Lennon in the second half of her life.
Yeah.
All right. What do you feel your connection is with her? Were you able to gain a connection with her while rehearsing and reading up on her?
Yeah, definitely, because I think when events happen, and the Beatles were certainly an event, you know, then there's a commonality that you feel with the emotions that a character has. So you find an empathy really quickly.
Yeah.
And then obviously later on with the different things that have happened in her life, there's a lot of differences between people, but there's a lot of commonalities. So, you know, that's what you draw on really to give an authentic performance.
As an actress, what do you pick up on when you think of Cynthia Lennon?
I think there's a generosity and a genuineness, if that's a word. Probably isn't. But there's also a little bit of sadness as well, I think, through her. But the main thing, I think, is this motherly love that she has, which is really, really strong through the play. And she's a very kind person, I think. I mean, I don't know her. Obviously, I've not met her ever.
Yeah.
But that's what you get from, obviously, research. It's from what you sort of feel from when you're doing a character, I think. So, yeah, she seemed like a really nice person, which is not that usual, actually. That people, you know.
I know what you mean. But,
Yeah.
okay, so how would you have to prepare? I know it's not easy playing a nice person as opposed to playing a villain as a character.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's a lot of subtleness you have to put into the character.
Yeah,
How do you how have you tapped into that? How have you tapped into that for yourself?
Yeah, because I don't think I'm particularly nice. So it is an act. I think what you have to do is when situations happen, because that's what a play is, and certainly this play is a series of situations and events that happen. You do your research, and then you have to, as an actor, sort of filter it and sieve it through yourself so that it's an authentic response and an authentic performance and portrayal. That's how you do it, so you respond in that way, so it's genuine, if that makes sense. So it's my version, if you like, when I do it, of Cynthia Lennon. It's not a copy or an impersonation. Does that make sense?
It does. It does a bit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a bit of an organic sort of process, I suppose, which sounds a bit strange, but there you go.
All right. Okay. I'm pulling off of what you said. She was nice, and you had to tap into that niceness, and of course, by learning your part, you kind of grew into her a lot more.
Yeah.
My question though is for Mike. All right. Is she as nice, or was she as nice as you made her out in this play, or was there any points where, you know, there was some troubling information? Because again, we live in an age where people can find out all the not so good things that people had done, you know, so we are forced to give a second look at who we think our heroes are and who we look up to. In her story, in researching her, in bringing her out to the front, was there anything that you found?
You mean, was she as good as that?
Was she as good? Because the play, that I've read the play, and she's, you know, lifted up, all right? And I've seen, not to give away anything, but I've noticed that you've painted John Lennon in a harsher light, which I've never seen before. So, is there anything in her life that, you know, is a counterbalance?
Well, I'd say two things about that. First of all, when I read her book, which is just called John, which is about her life with John, this might sound really, really odd, but I could feel myself falling in love with her.
Okay.
Because she was perfect. She was every man's dream come true. You know, she wouldn't shout at you if you came home late from the pub or anything like that. You know, does such a person exist? You know, I wish they did. But on a serious note, to answer your question directly, I don't think anyone's that perfect.
Uh-huh.
And as we all know, you can think you know someone, but no one knows what two people are like in their own living room when they're on their own.
Yeah.
The only creature on this planet that knows what went on between Cynthia and John in their living room would be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that Cynthia changed as time went by. In the first instance, she was a dutiful wife to John, but when she became a mother, yeah, as often happens, she had to share that love between her husband and her child.
Yeah.
And I think this is where the conflict began. And I think where the beginning of the end for the relationship was when John began using drugs. Now, often people look at John Lennon and think of him using drugs in what I might call a playful kind of a way, LSD and this sort of thing. In point of fact, I found out in my research, and this is not widely appreciated, that John became a full-blown heroin addict. And as anyone listening to this broadcast will know, heroin is a wicked substance, and it changes people. And John was into heroin in quite a big way, and I think that was what really split them up in the end. That's what tore them apart. Cynthia's reaction to that was, I think that you can either live with me or you can live with heroin, but you can't live with both. So I think although she was a very quiet, mild-mannered person, I do believe that inside everyone there is if you like, a fire, a raging fire burning inside. And so my take on Cynthia is that when she was alone with John, she was quite fiery, quite feisty. Mm-hmm. And this reflects in some of the scenes where at a certain stage she grows up and stands up against the man. And this is, I think, that's my take on it. Yeah. And that's perhaps one of the interesting things about the play. And then, of course, Cynthia goes on then to find ultimately her, if you like, her soul partner, which is Noel, at the end. And Noel's a completely different character in every way from John. So we've got these contrasts throughout the play, and how it's how Cynthia reacts to all these different things. Interesting, but I don't paint John as being a bad guy. In the first half of the play, I think we paint him as being a nice, witty, unusual but charming kind of a guy that she fell in love with. Yeah. But it was definitely the drugs that changed him, as they change everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I would like to ask both of you of this question, but I'll stay with you before I go over to Michaela. I want to ask about, during the entire arc of the play, what was your favorite part that you wrote, or your favorite part to direct? What's your favorite part within the play, or that you think touched you most?
Well, as I've just been saying, it's that moment when Cynthia changes from being the obliging girl who will do everything, that she suddenly realises that she's a woman in her own right, not just John Lennon's wife. Yeah. I mean, that is hopefully an inspiration to any women that watch it, who have who are with a partner who tries to dominate them, or is abusive to them. That she stood up against John using drugs, and she stood up for her own rights, and she was actually very strong in that situation. I think that's probably my favourite part of the play.
Oh, okay, great. Let's talk to Michaela. What's your favourite part in playing Cynthia Lennon?
I think I like the part where she realises that Julian has grown up and he's okay. Yeah. You know, he's okay now. He's kind of a man and he can look after himself. So it's kind of sad, but it's happy. But I think that's probably my favourite, just from a personal point of view. I just think it's nice.
Oh, that's really nice then. Okay, so let me get into the play is happening during the International Beatles Week, right? It's running from the 21st of August to the 26th of August. How many shows do we have within that time?
Yeah, do you want me to just run through?
I would love for you to run through.
Okay, I'll try. So I'm going to.
Well,
I'll go on.
You will run through time, so we'll have a note to all the times and where you can get tickets also.
So it's Wednesday the 21st. This is all in August, at 7:30 p.m. Yeah. Although I believe that show is sold out. Thursday the 22nd of August at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Mm-hmm. Friday the 23rd Friday the 23rd of August at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Yeah. Saturday the 24th of August at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday. We've got Sunday now, haven't we? Yeah. The 25th of August at 7:30 p.m. And the final day for the shows is Monday the 26th of August at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. And all those performances are at the Hope Street Theatre on Hope Street.
Oh, great.
And tickets are available
Go ahead.
through Ticket Quarter.
Ticket Quarter.
Yeah.
And I would assume also at the Hope Street Theatre website. No?
No, it takes you directly to Ticket Quarter.
Okay.
It's through Ticket Quarter.
So you can go to the Hope Street Theatre website and it will link you to Ticket Quarter to get tickets.
And you go down, it says what's on, and then you see the show, and then you click on it and it takes you to buy tickets at Ticket Quarter.
Alright, fantastic.
I believe.
Okay, well that's great. So at least we have that down. We know when we can go and see the show. What a lot of my audience does know is that I don't only write but I also act. And I do have a part in this play. I am playing Cynthia Lennon's last husband. Is it your fourth?
Yes.
Fourth and last husband. Alright? And as a special treat and a new addition, things we plan to do is we're going to give a bit of a scene. Alright? So you all will know a bit of what's to expect from this type of show. Okay? And when we come back from that, I'd like to ask each of you all if you can give our audience, this punchline, this one inspiration for us to why should we go and see this girl, the Cynthia Lennon story.
I really love your son. I've known him all these years and I couldn't bear if anything ever happened to him. Did he ever tell you about the time that we met at Tramps nightclub in London?
No, he never mentioned it. Do you know how many people in Julian's life have said that kind of thing to me? I love Julian. He's like a surrogate son to me. Or even, I'm like his surrogate mother. Like I don't even exist. Do any of you people ever stop to think how insulting this is to me? I am his mother. And the truth is, all these surrogates want is to get something from my son, not to give him something.
But that's not how it is with me.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're different. You only want to help him, right? Piss off. If you'd have spent 3 days in agony bringing him into this world, then you'd know what real parental love is all about. I am his mother. There are no surrogates in our family. His father's not with us anymore. So don't go there, I'm not interested.
I'm really sorry. I mean it.
What do you know about it anyway, eh? What do you know about it? Well, don't just sit there. Say something. What do you know about what this mother and son have been through? Trying to fend off every con artist on the planet. Trying to cash in on our names. I have fought to protect my son and respect his legacy. And through all this tragedy and exploitation, I've battled to hold my head up high.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for what?
Thank you for showing me the tiger and the tiger strength that lives within this beautiful woman. And scene.
Alright, and we're back. So now we're just about to wrap up with Mike and Michaela. Did I say it right?
You did then.
Okay.
You did then.
Because I normally say it under my breath.
You did.
Good. So yeah, we're going to come back. We're here back with them. And we're going to talk a little bit about why we should come and see this play. Let's start with Mike. Mike, why should someone say, okay, let's go and take a look at this girl?
If you like to laugh, that's good. If you like to cry, that's good. If you come and see this girl, you'll laugh and you'll cry.
That's great, isn't it?
That's good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but why should we come and see this show?
Well, I think it's an interesting story. Okay, about a really a phenomenal time that happened, an event in history, really, and about somebody's view from the inside of that, you know. And it's got music.
Yeah.
It's a feel good and it's a feel sad, like Mike said. I think it's a real roller coaster kind of a play. So yeah, I think that that's. Oh, go on.
Go ahead.
But the other thing that we haven't mentioned is there are 5 brand new songs in this play. It is a musical, and rather than just playing old Beatles numbers, we've commissioned some local musicians from the community to write brand new songs for us. Oh. There are also 4 filmed sequences, so the production is part acted out in the space, and it's partly on film. So there's music, there's film, and there's drama. And if you don't like it, you can't have your money back at the end.
The not having money back is but let me say this. I will say why. I'm going to give a shout out to a friend of mine and dedicate this episode. Her name is Susan England, and I think that she is the biggest Beatles fan, period. And she has already have tickets for 4 shows. All right. The only reason she does not have more is because she doesn't have people to go with on those other nights. But she has already have 4 tickets, and I think from what I have seen at the rehearsals, you get a balance arc of theatre, visuals, and music. But I think what you fail to realize is that there's also this era of physical theatre that you brought in this last bit that was directed last week that I saw, you know, and you're going to really get a sneak peek into someone's life who is not really talked about, but who lived a amazingly exciting life, and that this person is not just a title. It's not just John Lennon's wife, you know. She is in her own right an artist, a mother, a friend, and you get to learn about this person and appreciate her and the role that she played, you know, to music on a whole. All right. So again, this is this girl, the Cynthia Lennon story, on from the 21st to the 26th of August, Beatles Week, and you better act on your tickets now because, again, my friend Susan will buy even more tickets if you all just don't go and find it out. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next time with another Crow's Nest. All right. Till then, this is Condor Online and Addae G signing out.